Welcome to the first episode of Wandering Aimfully After Dark.
After dark.
Things get dreary and dreamy and gruely and something that rhymes with the
First
other
of all,
words. What?
important for you to know, we're recording this intro after the episode in which Jason has consumed,
2.5 fingers of the 3 fingers of tequila I was
which is
poured.
why that didn't make any sense. That's okay.
We hope this episode's just fun.
Just fun.
It's kind of all over the place. It's just something we wanted to do we had everything set up and we were like, what if we just record something at night? You have a little bit of wine. I'll have some sips of some reposado tequila and then just enjoy.
And this is pretty much how most of our conversations go.
Yeah, it's just kind of all over the place. It's kind of fun. It's kind of silly.
We talk about a lot of different topics.
Maybe a departure from like one topic that we're trying to hone in on and give our experiences with. And instead, it's just like a bunch of random stuff. And listen, we're close to the holidays here as of recording this. So you get a little bit of holiday feel, which maybe revs you up or pisses you off. Hopefully the former.
We hope that it's fun and that you just feel like you're hanging out with us in our house, drinking some wine and tequila or a beverage of your choice.
So if you were wondering like, oh, should I listen to this now or should I listen to this later? Maybe save it for later when you can get a little drink with us. But if it's also later right now, then just pour yourself something delicious and tasty and enjoy.
Cheers.
Hey there, we're Jason and Caroline Zook, a husband and wife team who believes life is just one big experiment.
This is the show where we share our journey as we figure out this ever-changing thing called life. We cover topics like running a business, traveling the world, and clawing our way out of debt, all with the hope of inspiring you to live, work, and create with more intention.
Life might bring its twists and turns, but when you know who you are and what you want, you're never really lost. Welcome to Wandering Aimfully, the show.
Welcome to Wandering Aimfully After Dark.
I don't know why you needed to do the voice. So do you know what my favorite thing, you don't know this, but my favorite thing about you calling it Wandering Aimfully After Dark
Yeah.
is, did you ever watch Beverly Hills 90210, the original?
No.
The club that they turned like gnats into was called After Dark.
Gnats?
Gnats was the Peach Pit.
character?
The Peach Pit. No, Nat was the owner of the Peach Pit, which
Oh.
was the diner that Brendan worked at. Come on, obviously.
Sorry, man.
And then they turned it into a nightclub in the back, and it was After Dark.
Oh, interesting. This is a special episode. I don't know if we're going to do this often, but we just kind of decided we were recording. We had everything set up. And I was like, what if we just recorded one after dark? You have some wine. I have a little bit of tequila here. It's a pretty strong pour of tequila. If you're a drinker, it was about 3 fingers of tequila.
It was a lot of tequila.
Yeah, it's
Well,
solid.
it was at that awkward part in the bottle where
Right.
there was...
Take it to the face or don't take it at all.
Interesting.
That's what
we're
they
gonna
say,
kick
isn't it?
off After Dark with that.
If you're listening to this at a time when it's appropriate to drink a libation.
Appropriate?
Yeah, appropriate.
It
what I
sounded
said.
like appropriate.
If you're listening to this at a time when you think it's appropriate to have a libation, please join us.
Please do.
I think that would be fun. We have no agenda with this episode.
We don't even have a topic.
We don't know
We just hit record.
what we are talking about here.
I wish we could have recorded it during dinner though, because we just got back from dinner and we were talking about all kinds of fun stuff.
I know, but that was all thoughtful and heady conversations.
And we'd rather it be
This is
just
after
devolve.
dark.
This is After Dark.
Let's
This
talk
is when
about
it
our
gets weird.
romantic fantasies. Let's
Do you
talk
have
about
any romantic
the
fantasies?
smutty novels that you read. Let's pull the skeletons.
Let's talk about the
s-
professor in the...
Let's pull the sexy skeletons out of the closet.
How much tequila did you have?
Closet. Not enough.
Clearly not enough.
You know this about me.
Am I
This
getting
is
red?
me. No.
Oh.
I don't think so.
I just feel like
Maybe. I'm embarrassing
you started talking about naughty stuff and I was like, oh.
Getting flirty again?
I was like, might need to get through half a
Getting
glass.
flirty again?
Also, fun fact, because I love my wine, but I realized a long
you going
time
with a
ago,
little life hack here?
this is a life hack.
Okay.
When we moved to California, as some of you know, we sold all of our belongings. We moved from Florida, sold all of our belongings, and so we had to buy all new stuff when we came out to California. We did not buy wine glasses. We just felt like it was unnecessary. We should only buy like multi-purpose drink vessels. So we just got mason jars. And so I drink out of these tiny mason jars, and I realized that one mason jar, about halfway full, feels like it's a glass of wine. It's about half a glass of wine.
Yeah, it's a good little
So I can have...
life hack.
Even if I have 4 refills, which I almost never do,
I was
that
wondering
would
what number you were going to go with.
that would still only be 2 glasses of wine.
It's true.
So it's a way to like, if you like your wine, pace yourself a little bit.
So...
What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I wanted to... If you're not watching this on YouTube, I would invite you to watch this on YouTube. I've
Yes.
tried to set the stage here a little bit for you. There might be a roaring fire over my right shoulder.
I wish we could hear it though.
Well,
Can I tell you something? This is giving me real holiday vibes.
Holiday vibes.
And I had a moment where I was getting ready.
Also, the fire that we have is on our TV, just so everyone knows.
Oh.
That's normal to
Didn't
us.
even make it.
But most people would be like, is that fire on their TV? Yeah, we don't have a fireplace. And also, we live in Southern California where you don't really need to turn a fire on inside. So we have a fireplace app on the TV. I mean, I love
True or
a
false?
fire.
Wouldn't you love like a fire pit?
Oh, totally. But
I
not
wish we could have that.
inside. If we're talking about being inside. And then in the last place we lived, we had a gas fireplace. And I always just felt like this isn't as fun. Like I want to put wood in there.
Right.
And I want to light the Duraflame log. And I
Yeah.
just want to get the smell of chemicals from that Duraflame log.
We went to
That's not true. I like
not true.
actually like starting a fire. When we went to Big Bear with our friends,
That's what I was
Stan and
gonna
Caleb,
tell them.
That was fun adventures for me.
That reminded me of when we stayed at the place El Portal, which was a little B&B in Sedona.
Big shout out El Portal,
Sedona,
Arizona.
Arizona. I get Arizona and Nevada
I'm also
real confused.
still on El Portals. We've stayed there twice.
Yeah.
I'm on their email list, by the way, which is hilarious because they're like old school in their
Yeah.
emails. Fun fact about El Portal.
I didn't get to say my fun fact
Oh,
yet.
I'm sorry. I got excited. I love El Portal. Go ahead.
The reason I brought it up is because it's one of our favorite places we've ever stayed, because one of the reasons is at night, so the way that it's set up is all the rooms are sort of like in a U shape, and then they have this little courtyard in the middle with like a pergola and like a fire pit. But at night, every night, they put juniper wood in this fire pit, and it just smells. If you've ever smelled juniper wood, it's a very
delicious.
distinct smell. It's delicious.
If you want to,
Smells so good.
If you want to scroll back, actually, I think if you search the hashtag Wandering Aimfully,
I don't think we were using it at that time.
oh man, if I had my phone, I would check. I took a photo of this thing. It is posted on my Instagram account if someone really wants to see it. Otherwise, just go to just search El Portal.
Wasn't
in
it like,
Google.
oh no, we had a different travel hashtag. Do you remember what it was? It was like Jason Caroline Travel Adventures or something.
Anyway, you could just go you go to the website and you could see photos. They have photos.
do a deep dive on our Instagrams.
I love this hotel. Number one, it's pet friendly, which
Yes.
is great because we got to take little Plaxico. We're on a road trip.
Yeah.
Number two, the owner of the hotel started the first like organic dog food
Company.
company.
Yeah.
Like he basically loves basset hounds. He's had basset hounds his entire life. And he just was like, I'm fed up with this crappy dog food. I'm going to make good dog food for my dogs. And he did. And then it was purchased by a bigger dog food company, which I don't think he loved, but he probably couldn't pass it up.
Got a boatload of money.
That company then it almost went under, and they called him and they're like, we need you to help us fix this. Brought him back in and he fixed the company.
Are
It's a
you
cool
sure
story.
you're not mixing this guy's story
No.
with Steve Jobs?
No, not at all. No.
Because I don't
he's
remember
the
all those
Steve
details.
Jobs of dog food.
That's what they call him.
That's what he goes by.
That is one of my things that I miss about road tripping. Like, we haven't done a long road trip in a long time. I loved like staying at places, and you just have more time to like talk to people and get to know their stories. I feel like when
Remember those people we met from Pennsylvania at El Portal? They were nice people. We made s'mores with them.
I do. Remember they were asking us all about how we met and everything?
Yeah.
That was fun. I do remember.
Did you get a swinging vibe? Again, it's Wandering Aimfully after dark, so we can talk about
No,
these
did
things.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think, okay.
I always
this
get
is
a swinging vibe.
If we're going to go after dark,
Let's do it.
I hear people make comments about swingers all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to like run into a person in real life that is like, yeah, I know people that swing.
Well, first of all, that's not like, you're the type of person that doesn't want that conversation to come up.
No, I'm not.
I'm the type of person that like, I'll go down that road and you're like, babe, stop. Tell me that's not the
That's
truth.
because you do it as like
Because
a
I'm unbuttoning my shirt while I'm doing it.
like that commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we're doing
I
this.
guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
No,
Good-
it's
good
because
job,
you
Swing
do it
TV.
as like a joke and you make people uncomfortable. But if somebody was really like owning it and was like, yeah, we swing, or like, yeah, our neighbors swing or whatever, I would find it actually just fascinating.
We were told that the place we used to live when we first moved to California, called Poway, was like the swinging capital of Southern California. We were told that.
And yet I didn't get a flyer.
A
I
swinging,
didn't get an invite.
a swinging flyer. We hung out at the wrong
I
establishments,
know.
apparently.
Anyway, I don't know that
So
I'm.
that begs the question, who would you swing with? It's Wandering Aimfully After Dark. You have
That's-
to answer it.
It has to be a couple. Oh, easy.
Okay, that's why I was like,
Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds.
Your mind
Easy.
immediately went to like Real Friends, and you were having trouble saying
Yeah,
something.
I
I'm
was
like, you're making this way too difficult on
no.
yourself.
Well, no, I really
Ryan and Blake, our friends Ryan and Blake.
Ryan and Blake.
Yeah, totally.
That's our choice.
The Reynoldses.
Right.
When you say it that way, it's like those are just normal people.
We should call them.
They probably
And
have
be like, "You into this?"
they probably have a Dodge Caravan they drive around all their kids in.
No, it's a Pacifica, Chrysler Pacifica.
No, that's Dak Shepard. Don't mix your couples
No,
up.
did you see that Catherine Hahn is like a
Oh my gosh.
legitimate
So
spokesperson for...
Did you listen to that episode
Yeah.
of Armchair Expert?
Yeah.
She talked about how much she loved that van and that.
Oh, I must have missed that part. I
Oh,
think I
yeah,
just
yeah,
must
yeah.
have listened to the second half then.
Oh yeah, they went on like
love her.
they went on a Chrysler Pacifica tear for a while.
God, shout out to Armchair Expert.
Such a great podcast.
What our podcast would love to be when it grows up. Fun fact, we do have a future segment that we might introduce that is related to Armchair Expert, which we're not going to...
Divulge it this time.
Yeah,
the only thing that like we would love our podcast to grow up to be like that, but the advantage of a podcast like Armchair Expert is that there's a new guest every week. So there's like
Right. And we
tons of new stuff. And we've talked about that for this show of how do we keep it new? How do we keep it fresh? You know, what do we do? And I think from my perspective as the producer, executive producer, and director of the show, and the best boy, and the key grip,
I'm just the talent.
yeah, is that we need to talk about things where we don't know the other person's full perspective or
True.
haven't had a lot of deep conversations
True.
about it. And there's tons of stuff that we can get into, like swinging. Like, what's your perspective?
Well, no, some of my favorite episodes are where we start talking about something and actually we hit on a disagreement. And then I like for each of us to kind of like defend our position. I think that's when it's most interesting.
You like a little bit of sportiness to it. And we took a quick little wine refill break so that, you know, I wanted to acknowledge the continuity here for those of you watching on YouTube and who also watch movies and care about these things, that the wine glass didn't just refill itself.
That's like my favorite thing is to look for those little...
It drives me insane.
I know it does drive me insane because it takes you out of the movie, but it's fun to like spot it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So where to go from here? Because this is the After Dark episode and we just have no agenda and we're just talking about whatever.
We're going to see where it goes.
Let's go with favorite holiday traditions or like things
Really?
around the holidays that just like you get jazzed up about.
Okay, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I love Christmas music and I am one of those people that starts listening to it very early. What?
I need you to know that in no way, shape, or form is it an unpopular opinion that you
To
like Christmas music.
Okay, fine.
Here's a
But
really unpopular opinion,
I just
guys.
mean-
I
Like chocolate.
enjoy, from time to time, a glass of water. I don't know what it is.
The reason I said that is because people go back and forth, you know,
I think
with their
you're-
memes about like playing Christmas music early, and they're like,
I think that's the ticket.
Yes,
Is that you're an
the-
early player.
"Oh, like
What's the rule in this family?
there is no rule because I break it."
You listen early?
Oh, of course I listen early. Are you kidding me?
That is such a bummer to find
To
out.
me, Christmas music is like such an instant mood booster. And so around this time, around the end of October, if I start getting in like a weird seasonal like mood, I'll just
Just Boost Mobile? You just going to Boost Mobile?
I was gonna say, I'll just boost the Christmas music. I will breeze right through fall and just go straight to winter. And I'll turn on Christmas music and I'm instant happy.
Here's my reasoning for the rule, which is not obviously a hard and fast rule in our family, but I'm just going to say it's a rule for me then.
That is what it is.
And I'm going to believe that you adhere to it, but you don't.
No, I don't.
Which is the day after Thanksgiving, you start listening to Christmas music. And here's why, is because I love Christmas music. Unpopular opinion, but I love Christmas music.
That doesn't...
But the problem is that 25 or 30 straight days of it is plenty.
Okay, I was just about to say, but that doesn't give you enough time to listen to it.
30 straight
that
days.
only gives me about 27 playthroughs of the Pentatonics album, and that's just not enough.
Man. The one thing I will say is that each year I have gotten more and more excited about when new Christmas album comes out. And so this year I'm actually excited to bring back up into the fold. Can you guess what album I'm most excited about? It's going to be a hard one to guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know the exact album, but if I had to guess, it's some type of R&B Christmas album.
Maybe.
Tony Braxton?
CeeLo's Christmas. Yeah.
That is a great pick.
CeeLo Green has a great, very unknown, not listened to a ton
So great.
Christmas
CeeLo's
album,
so
which
great.
is just fun.
Pentatonics has a new Christmas album
Oh,
coming
that's
out.
good.
Which
Straight
is
No Chaser.
Straight No Chaser.
Fantastic.
Great.
That's
Anything
a go-to.
acapella Christmas.
I
great.
really feel like Spotify has owned like finding Christmas music you never would have found. Because I would not have found CeeLo's Christmas. I would not have found Straight No Chaser. Wouldn't have found these things, but they do a really good job.
Doesn't this make you so happy? And then it just gets you in the holiday
And here's the
spirit.
thing. It's like going on a trip or anything else. Like I like building up to the day after Thanksgiving when I go, now's the time.
No, I just really enjoy it.
Also, I can get some great deals on TVs because it's Black Friday.
Here's an interesting thing that's happening with me in holidays. There was probably throughout most of my 20s when I just felt like meh about the holidays. It was just a weird transition time. You're like, where do I fit into these like older traditions that I had with my family? There was that weird moment where like still like your mom was doing stockings for us. And then finally we had, then it was like, you're adults.
I think the rule was like whenever kids come around,
right? When the grandkids
come around,
coming.
you guys stop getting stockings. So like,
I'm not going to be honest. I mean, I'll be honest. That first Christmas without a stocking,
unpopular opinion. I really like Christmas stockings.
Unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
But I didn't care as much. And now, for whatever reason, maybe it's that I'm getting older and life is more sad. It's like more sad stuff happens that I'm like, man, it feels good to just
be a gangster. Yeah. No,
have joy.
Well,
it's so joyful.
I think part of it for me and why I enjoy the holidays is because you start to make your own traditions and you start to carve out your own things.
Yep.
And so I think even this year, this is the first year that we are not going back to Florida. I actually said it correctly that time. I didn't say going home because home is not Florida anymore for us. But we're not going back to Florida for Thanksgiving. And I've been with my family every single Thanksgiving for the past 35 years. And I know it's going to be tough for them. And it's going to be, a little bit tough for me and for us. But we do go back for Christmas, so we're going to be there. And, that to us, it's like, it's very similar, those two holidays in my family. And while it's
a lot
great,
of eating, a lot of fun, a lot of hanging out with family.
While it's great, it's just, there's no real newness to it. So I'm excited that we get to create some new traditions or new things.
Around Thanksgiving.
And
what are we going to do for Thanksgiving?
Listen, we're vegsters, we're plant-based people. So there's no turkey. There's none of that stuff.
That's actually what I'm excited about.
We get to have a little fun trying to figure that out.
I'm excited to make it about the food and about setting up a menu, and we're probably going to do it with our friends Jen and Caleb. And
depending on what their schedule is, we may find ourselves just on our own for Thanksgiving Day. Which will be fun because if we know that that's coming, then we can kind of plan like what's that going to look like. And then, watching football, obviously you're going to be super excited for that.
See, that was another silly thing. Remember last year, the year before, so 2 years ago, we didn't have any Christmas decorations at the house. We were just like, whatever.
Well,
and then what?
Which house?
Well, in Oceanside. We had the tree.
That was when things got flooded. We had to move.
Did we have a tree?
Yes, we got a tree.
We did get a tree. That was the one thing we did, but we didn't decorate. Yeah, we just put lights on the tree.
We lived in a place, it got flooded like 2 or 3 weeks before Christmas time, before Thanksgiving actually.
Right.
And then we literally moved all of our stuff into another unit, which was 14 feet away. It wasn't that far, but we felt like we were just in this temporary thing. And so it was really hard to go, well, let's decorate our home because it's not really our home.
True.
So we did do a tree. We got lights.
But
I used my Wemo, which I really love, which is the little app controlled thing on my phone.
So proud of your Wemo.
Where I can turn my lights on
and off.
Your
Wemo sounds like a different thing.
I mean, it's after dark. I don't know what we're talking about.
But this past year, I fully embraced it. I did all DIY handmade Christmas decorations.
Yep.
I watched,
which we have in a box downstairs.
Which we will use again because it was a lot of work and got to get a couple years out of that stuff. I watched every single terrible Hallmark Christmas movie I could find on Netflix.
You did.
They
really
were all
went through.
So cheesy.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I will say that every year, and this is an unpopular opinion as well, I look forward to Elf.
I look forward to the Grinch. I look forward to the Grinch.
Last year we actually
the new one, the Jim Carrey one.
We found on Amazon, they did their own Christmas special cartoon, and it was Nana's Mac and Cheese.
No, okay, what was it called?
I forget what it was called, but Boys to Men did some music for it.
And they were characters in it. It was so wonderful.
It was cute. It was adorable. And
there were also some cultural themes about tolerance and acceptance among cultural groups.
And it was people of color. It was their story, and you don't usually see that. You kind of get the same trope over and over again, but
you can say white people. You mostly get white people.
But yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was a lot more kiddish than I think we would have.
Yeah, but the music was really good. And it was a cute story.
They did a good job. Also, 3 years ago, we did a new tradition which we haven't fully kept going. But what we did for Christmas was. Each of us picked a movie.
This was instead of giving each other gifts.
Right. Each of us picked a movie.
Yep.
Each of us picked an activity, and each of us picked a food.
like a snack.
And so you made the food for each other. We did the activity together, and then you basically like watched both movies.
Which is fun because if you're kind of trying to be more minimalist and or if you're trying to save money and you're wondering what's an idea, something you can do just together as a couple, it was a really fun activity.
Yeah, and we didn't do it last year, I don't think, but we did it a couple years before.
Do you remember what your activity was? Because it's real good.
Was my activity origami?
Yes.
Yeah.
So my activity was gingerbread houses.
Yes.
So we were like building gingerbread houses, and I forget what my movie was, but then
I think your movie was Jingle All the Way.
No, I think that was your
No, my movie was Arthur Christmas because I found
that's right.
I found on iTunes this random movie I think called Arthur Christmas or like Arthur or something, and it was a really good animated Christmas movie.
It was really good.
Really,
I think mine was more classic. Home Alone.
Was it Home Alone?
Yeah, because it's a classic.
You're so basic.
So basic. But then Jason.
Unpopular opinion. I
Here's
love
what's
those
funny.
Home Alone movies.
Well, you remember you ordered your supplies on Amazon?
Yeah.
And so it's just like this like Amazon box. I'm like, okay, what is this going to be? And he's like, it's origami. And I was actually very excited.
You were so much better at it than I was.
Well, obviously.
Also, so I grew up and I did origami. I liked origami, but I was always stumped by the super intricate ones. And I think it's because my hands were large.
Yeah,
to begin
and mine
with.
are small and nimble.
And so any of the intricate little origami pieces couldn't do it. And so I just would get disgruntled and I would be upset. Also, some of those diagrams are really bad. Like I cannot
true.
tell where the folds are supposed to
true.
go. But anyway, this was a fun thing. So I think we should bring that back this year.
Okay.
And maybe
Not the
even,
origami specifically.
maybe even rope in our friends Jen and Caleb to see if they want to be a part of it, because that could be fun to have.
That's
like
a 4-movie marathon. That's fun.
like a whole
day.
day. Like a whole day.
A day.
Could be fun. Also, do you remember
Also,
what
dibs
your-
on not having the last slot.
I'll take the last slide.
Okay,
I don't
fine.
mind. I don't care. But that is a fun little tradition.
What were you going to say?
I was going to mention just the delicious treat that we made constantly every year. We've made this every single year. It's pretzels, little square-shaped pretzels with a Hershey Kiss on top with an M&M pushed into the Hershey Kiss once it's melted slightly.
You got to love just processed
Oh
food.
my gosh,
you know what I
that
mean?
is a little processed bite of sugar that's just wonderful.
I can only have about 2 before I just crash. But
Yeah, we're going to have to find some
I
other.
did not mean for this to take on such a holiday feel. We might have to release it.
This is going to be close to the holidays when this comes
close
out. So
ish. By the time you're watching this / listening to this, I'm for sure listening to Christmas music.
Yeah, we do still have, if you are watching this on YouTube in the wide shot, which I'll pull to here, this is the Letter Folk board that I did last year. We got to change this up. So that is the thing we have to do, because it's almost been a year.
I mean, I understand, but it's so hard to like get all the spacing right and
to
dump
make sure
out
you
those
have enough
letters.
I know. But this is a
So we
quote
just-
from that movie that's not very popular for people to watch.
And we just leave it up all year long.
It's an unpopular movie. It's called Elf. I don't know if anybody's heard of
It's
it.
an unpopular opinion,
Yeah,
but Elf is pretty
that's
good.
All right, so that went down a little holiday fun there. Oh, I am actually excited this year to try and find a healthy might be tough, but a vegan hot chocolate.
Yes.
If any listeners out there
Very
have any really good, I would love sugar-free if possible. I'm okay with sugar substitutes. I just don't want like regular sugar. But if you have like plant-based friendly, sugar-free desserts or little recipes of sorts, I'm all ears for them. My mom makes these, sorry to cut you off. My mom makes these traditional cookies every year, and man, I love them, but the ingredients in those are
Which one, the
not
sugar
good.
cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're delicious, but they're not good for you.
I just had a thought about Christmas and Christmas music, which I think we've talked about before, but like, why is it so hard to write modern Christmas music? Almost nobody comes up with like new Christmas songs that catch on.
Yeah.
Why?
That's kind of the same thing with new Christmas movies. Like, we have all the Christmas movies from our childhood,
Yeah.
but then like any
There
of
are
the
some
new,
that break through.
I know, but any of the new ones that come out, because there's guaranteed to be a couple that come out every year.
Every year.
And they're just like, you know, whatever.
Do you remember when The Holiday came out?
I don't know what that is.
It's
is
the
that
one-
with Jack Black?
And
Which is
Cameron
hilarious,
Diaz and
yeah.
Kate Winslet and Jude Law, which is a real smorgasbord of
That really is a
talent.
smorgy, Yeah.
But I remember when this came out and it was like a modern Christmas movie. I don't think it even necessarily was around Christmas. Actually, maybe it was. But anyway, people were like, have you seen The Holiday?
Yeah.
And like people were all about that as like the new Christmas movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same with like Love Actually. You know how that's, I mean, I know
finally
that's,
watched that with you. I'd never watched it.
you didn't like it.
Serendipity? Is that another one?
I don't think I've ever seen Serendipity, but it
Oh,
has
really?
John Cusack.
Maybe. I don't know. Isn't it a Christmas movie?
I don't think there's snow.
What's the one that we did watch one a couple years ago that came out that was with Seth Rogen?
Yes. Office Christmas.
Was it like Office Christmas Party or something like that?
I think so.
We thought it was funny. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good.
Yeah. So that that to me is one where I would watch that again this year and I would probably enjoy it and I'd be like, oh yeah,
Did
this
we
could go in the
like that?
rotation. Yeah, for sure. It was fun.
That was the big party, right?
Yeah.
Was it Jason
Office
Bateman?
Christmas Party or something? Yeah. It was
How do
good.
you feel about Jason Bateman?
Well, what did you tell me? You told me this
Well,
right before I listened to his episode on Dax Shepard podcast. Second shout out to Dax this episode.
Well, there was like a weird thing with him with Arrested Development, and they were interviewing the cast, and
saying that he just wasn't a good guy.
it's not that he wasn't a good guy. It's that he was like, well, you know, it's not even rumors, but it's well known that Jeffrey Tambor, who was
Right.
on Arrested Development, was like at times very hard to work with and borderline verbally abusive to, I don't remember the female actress, who's basically the only female actress on that show. But they had all moved past it, I guess, and they were talking during an interview, I think for like the Hollywood Reporter, and she was standing up for herself and being like, listen, like that, yes, we've moved past it, but like that behavior was not acceptable. We can all agree. And I think Jason Bateman was trying to sort of like play mediator, but in doing so really was minimizing her experience. And I just remember reading that and being disappointed and being like, dang it, because I like so much of what he does, but I think that's just, sometimes it's a classic case of just people not realizing the context of their behavior.
Yeah.
Like you only can experience life as you experience it. And so sometimes people do need to point out and be like, hey, I know that you thought you were defending your friend Jeffrey, but like think about this from the actress's perspective, you know? That aside, we do love Ozark.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, going down the Jason Bateman train.
Yeah, I just mean Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
We do love Ozark. I have watched some Arrested Development, which is a very funny show.
Without me? Or before?
No, like before you. Way
okay.
before you.
Whew.
It's been on for like 20 years.
Because we have to finish Parks and Rec. We're very close.
Very close.
And then we need to start Arrested Development, we're told.
Yes.
That's like the next thing to do. Which, and then there's Community. Like, do we have to do that?
I've never heard you talk about Community. I used to watch Community like early days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just know it because Donald Glover was on it.
Oh my gosh, that
And
was
I
how
love
I
all things Donald
actually.
Glover.
Yeah, that's the very first time I ever saw him, and I was like, he is really funny. But just that whole cast is really funny.
I forget what his little his show was, like his own show with the trio of guys, with the other two
I don't
guys.
remember.
It was like, it's like Mystery Team Brigade or like something like that. Like I forget what it is, but they had like little funny shorts.
We
and
also need to
skits.
watch Atlanta.
We do need to watch Atlanta. There's a lot of shows we need to watch. That's what we're finding on this episode. There's a lot of TV we
A lot
need
of
to
shows.
watch.
We should do a whole
Why
TV episode.
I know. Why is it that we don't watch a lot of TV?
I do.
Oh. Why is it that I don't watch a lot of TV?
Because you don't want to watch the things I want to watch.
I think it's because there's sports.
Yeah, that's
So
why.
what you need to do is
so what you do is you watch
need to
sports.
get me in end of June, July, and August.
I
and
do.
just like,
Oh, I do, don't I? I
just
get you.
Fill it up because
When am
once
I,
we
like,
get to September, October, November,
know.
December, January, February, March, April, and May.
This is my gripe with sports. They're on all the time.
Well, just be glad that I don't watch baseball. That's on for like 11 months of the year.
That's true. I love getting into shows together, and we never get into shows anymore.
Never like.
I convince you-
That's because you won't watch any kung fu movies. That's why I don't want to watch shows with you.
I don't
They're
like
so
Kung
good.
Fu.
They're so
And I don't
good.
like all the crappy teenage superhero stuff that you're into.
Like what? Oh, like the Flash. Oh,
and
yeah.
like Iron Fist and blah, blah, blah.
Also, Iron Fist canceled.
The little that I
Luke
know about
Cage
it.
canceled. Yeah. It seems like Netflix is
They're like, the superhero experiment has run its course.
no, not at all. I
Oh.
think they're actually getting to a place where they're going, the writing's on the wall with Disney, and things are going to get really tough because Disney's going to have their own streaming service. And so they're basically going to pull all of their
And just-
intellectual property to their own app. It's going to get a
Wait,
little
so
muddy here
Luke Cage
soon.
is Disney?
It's on my Marvel, yeah. Things are going to get muddy here in the Disney
So
world.
what's like the rules on, you know how they have antitrust laws for like big corporations?
Yeah.
But like how does that apply to things like that?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Disney feels like it's an entertainment monopoly, don't you think?
Well, I think that's why that there's been some stoppages in them trying to purchase other companies or acquire other
so
companies.
Disney owns Marvel and Star Wars
Yeah.
and
I mean, probably a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't know about. But Marvel and Star Wars are the two
speaking of
big ones.
Disney,
Okay.
so I was just watching Dancing with the Stars last night and they had Disney night
So that'll be interesting.
and they all went to Disneyland.
Okay. Is that here or is Disney World here?
No,
I don't know where they are.
Disney World's in Orlando, Disneyland is in LA.
Why is that such like a thing that I
Because
should
we
know?
lived in Florida for 10 years.
Did I ever go to Disney
World. I guess it's different because I grew up in Florida, and so it's absolutely ridiculous for me to think anyone grew up in Florida and doesn't know where that is.
Here's
Anyway,
an actual unpopular opinion. I have no interest in going to
That's what I was
Disneyland
going to
or
ask
Disney
you.
World.
How come?
First
about
of all,
when we have kids?
First of all, crowds.
Okay, that's first of all.
A lot of
I get
people.
it. But what if you did like
Lots
the
of
bougie, like skip all the lines version?
Yeah, sure. I would do that with kids.
When we have kids, we'll take them to Disney World.
Depends on whose kids we're taking there.
Our kids.
Whose kids? R. Kelly's kids?
Say it with me. Ready? Our
You are.
Yours and mine.
I have an idea.
kids.
And you are going to like it.
You are going to like it. Say it with me.
Hours go by and life is short. So tell the person you love them.
When we have kids,
Cheers.
I'm going to show them this clip and they're going to feel like unwanted.
They're not going to know. They're going to be little babies rolling around.
Forever.
Disneyland and Disney World and just theme parks in general, they just don't hold a lot of appeal to me.
I don't know. I've never been to one as an adult, so I don't know if I'd be like, this
You
is
can
not
go
that
if you
cool.
want. Our friend Jen loves them. She'd
I
happily
know.
take
Maybe
you.
I should go with Jen because she like actually likes it. I think I would have to go with somebody who likes it so I could
don't
like get
take
into
me.
it.
Don't take me. I would just be a Debbie Downer. Let's just be
I think
honest.
I would like it because I'm like all about that magic and optimism and like
But you're
feeling
also
like a kid
also
again.
very much in tune with your like, I need my own space. I need my own time. My energy's being really depleted.
Not if for a whole day I know I'm gonna do that.
Okay, go for
That's
it.
not true. I mean, I would. I feel like I'd get hot and tired and hungry.
So you need snacks.
In case you're wondering, the
You need-
trifecta of like when I actually become just a demon from the underworld is if I'm hot, tired, and hungry at the same time.
How often do you think you are those things? Every time you work out?
Every time I work out,
Yeah.
most days.
When you work out like on your own, like not with me involved, then you're fine. You're not really tired, hot, and hungry.
Mm-hmm. No, I forgot a fourth one. Hot, tired, hungry, and with Jason.
Oh wow.
Oh, did
Just
I
in
really?
just in general.
I'm just kidding.
Just in general.
I thought
being
you'd laugh
with
at
me.
that, but instead you acted wounded.
Nope. Wounded my soul. What can I
Ben-
say? I'm a fragile flower. That's Italian.
More and more topics are coming to mind as I get closer to the bottom of my mason jar.
All right. What do you got?
What would you be if you weren't an entrepreneur?
Zoologist, comic book artist. I would probably pursue something like with drawing or something like that.
An
But
art.
wouldn't that be an entrepreneur though? I guess. I mean, maybe I would try and work for like Pixar. I guess I
Yeah.
wouldn't be an entrepreneur.
I think that's a great.
Not
okay,
that I
okay,
think
okay,
I have
okay.
the talent for that,
Here-
but I
you
would
can
try.
figure it out.
I would try.
I think that's the question: is what would you if you couldn't be an entrepreneur and work for yourself, and you had to work for someone else? What would you do?
I think that's the first thing that comes to my mind that I would try.
I think I would want to work on movies.
Yeah.
Again, if we're playing the game of like
Because
what
you do such a helpful job of setting up our show.
I don't think I'd set up
Oh, what would you do?
like editor or like
Really?
or like
iMovie? They do movies.
hey what are you guys working with? iMovie.
You got that next Star Wars
You got
movie?
that,
Is that next Star Wars movie? I could do an iMovie for you. Just send me the footage.
You guys on iOS 12 or
You have a template you want me to use?
they're like
I have the world map template where I can like take like. Oh yeah, it's in the stars. Okay.
let me show you guys a cool cross dissolve I've been working on.
Well,
No,
here's
but
a-
like I just you know how much I love movies.
do you have a different path that you would have taken? Let's say 15 years ago, or even 20 years ago, knowing what
Movie
you know now.
critic.
You want to be a critic?
No.
Ew.
No, not like a critic. Not like one of those people that is just like gripes of stuff. Like a entertainment journalist, maybe.
I think about that often actually because when I found the Slash Film blog
Yeah.
many, many years ago, it's probably one of the first blogs I like subscribed to an RSS feed to, slashfilm.com. Loved it. I still check it every once in a
Like
while.
I would like to write critical like thought pieces about
You should read Slash Film.
films
They do a
and
good job.
I
They
took-
don't go as in depth, but
I took this, I've told you this many times, but I took this class in college that was one of my favorite classes, which was film analysis. And it was basically an English class, but for films. So instead of reading books and writing papers, you watched like classic movies and wrote papers, and you got to write all about the themes in the movies and then also how the director used like angles and lighting and editing in order to cultivate the feeling that they wanted to give the audience. And I geeked out over that stuff.
you could still do it if you want.
Just start like a movie blog on the side.
Sure, why not?
Yeah.
So to answer my own question of like what I would do if 20 years ago, I'm going to throw this out there as like a hypothetical consequences. We're not thinking about that. We're just doing things. I would have liked to have tried to be an NFL football player. I would have just tried to dedicate my life to it, try and get it in good shape. I'm the size of a tight end. Like I have the genetic lottery that I won for that. So I'd like to see if I actually could have made it happen. Because I was pretty slap on the table. I was like pretty good at flag football, which I know is not like a clear indication of that, but like
you were athletically inclined.
Yeah. And I really don't mean to say that I'm good at flag football and I could be an NFL player. What I mean is that like,
you're lucky you're not like a celebrity, because they totally would have like taken that out of context and made like an article about it.
I just really think it would have been fun to like give it my all, like a couple years of training and dedication, and go, could I have made it?
This is something that we have recently learned about you, which is that you love
so beautiful after dark. Aimfully. One of Caroline's favorite games is for you to start singing and then she tries to copy you.
Or dancing.
It's like Maya Rudolph and Fred Armisen on Saturday Night Live.
Kristen Wiig and
Fred Armisen.
But do a dance and all that.
I'll
show the people at home how to do it.
No,
Come on.
No, thank you. Most people are listening on the podcast, so I'm not going to do that.
Fine. One of these times we'll do it. What I was going to say is...
one of the things about Jason...
One other thing about you is that you love to see like how far you can push yourself. Like you want to see... You're just curious about like...
The limitations.
Yeah, and how far past your limitations you can push yourself, which I get.
Yeah.
I'm sort of like... I want to push myself.
But I want to say comfy.
But I want to say comfy. You know what I mean?
Comfy.
Especially when it comes to physical things. Not emotional things. I'm willing to push myself to... Wouldn't you say that I'm a lot more comfortable with emotional discomfort than I am physical discomfort?
What's an example?
Like, I'm willing to feel sad or confront things that have been traumatic in my past. Or,
and actually, like, be in them.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're way better.
So if it's uncomfortable and I'm sad, like, I'm willing to wade through that much more than I am being physically uncomfortable.
Right. And I am...
The opposite.
I'm full on for physical uncomfortability, but put my emotions
and you're
out
like,
the emotions
I'll do
dumpster.
It. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
That was from a different podcast, the emotions dumpster.
Yeah, it was.
All right.
I don't have any other pressing topics for our first episode of Wandering Aimfully After Dark. I hope people enjoyed it.
We didn't tell any secrets.
No, we didn't.
Okay, next time we'll tell a secret.
I don't know. If people have ideas for like what we could talk about in After Dark, let us know.
You have to talk in that voice.
The whole time. What if I did an entire episode where I just talked to you about After Dark? That weirds me out doing it, so I'm going to stop.
I do like this candlelit situation, though.
Yeah, you really like a good candlelit situation.
I just love romance, you know?
We said a little ambiance.
Ambiance.
Which is different than a Beyonce. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching this episode of Wandering Aimfully, the show.
A little something different for your ears.
A little bit different, you know, a little bit different for your eyes, a little bit different for your ears, depending on where you watched, where you listened.
We hope it was just like hanging out with us. We hope you felt like you were here at the house.
I hope you got libated
having some
up.
Wine.
Hope you libated yourself. And if you didn't, then maybe you're like, once I get off of work or off this treadmill or out of this car or whatever.
If you're sober, have a glass of water or
go
a mocktail.
Chug a whole bunch of Spindrift because that's what we support. Yeah, that's it. So if you enjoyed this show, feel free to leave a rating and review on iTunes. We say that often, but hey, it goes a long way to get more people to see the show.
And if you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. We are planning to release more videos in the near future. You will get notified when we have new podcast episodes every Monday, as well as other videos.
We should make a video about our Christmas like holiday ritual that we created.
With the activities and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be fun.
Great.
I think people would enjoy that.
I'm on board.
We could do some real good clickbaity headlines for it too. Really
We could do
people.
some fun stuff about like cheesy Christmas movies too.
We could. I'll just reenact an entire Home Alone movie, start to finish.
That'd be great.
I'll do 1 through 3 in one movie.
Perfect.
I can do it. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.